Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
With the big, bold flavour of HP sauce, making breakfast legendary.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. Now, you can text our show on 81215, that's 81215. Follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, or email the show via the Absolute Radio website. In short, that's how to contact us. You may be featured on the show if that happens.
Yeah.
You may not. We're not promising anything. Morning, Jim. Morning, Peter.
Morning.
Frank.
I've decided to start the show like that every week.
Okay.
Morning.
I've decided to start the show with a small bit of family therapy.
Oh.
If you'd like to adjudicate between me and Alan, please, Frank.
Okay.
What do you think of this? So Alan's appearing tonight in a comedy gig at the Union Chapel.
All right, we're straight
I'm going.
into this, are we?
No, I want to raise
Plugging him
this.
early on.
Well, I think fair enough.
Okay.
There's some other good people on the bill. No offence, Alan.
Ouchie.
No. Anyway, so I'd asked. I was actually going because your girlfriend Frank had invited me.
Okay.
She sorted me with tickets. So I text Alan. Are you at Union Chapel tomorrow night? I put a darling on the end. Guess what he replied? Sure. You guys after comps? #thrifty.
That's. I like people who go straight to the point with these things.
Oh.
Yeah.
I told him I've already got tickets. He replied, more money than sense.
But a lot of people, well, not really, because they were comps. They just came from a different source.
Yeah, I never knew that, though.
But a lot of people, say, would have. They'd have tiptoed around that. There'd been 7 or 8 texts before they got to the "you're not getting comps" point. But of course, I think Alan is not totally sure whether or not one pays for texts. So he went in. He went in early. He wasn't prepared to take that risk.
Oh.
Anyway, there you are, Union Chapel tonight. Alan Cochrane live, with lots of other good people, as you say.
Yeah.
Yes, the morning thing. I have been woken up this week by I have the baby monitor next to my head. I keep lizards.
What do you,
I said I keep lizards.
with lizards, can you hear them? Is it like the tongues? Can you hear them?
I'm going to do it again.
Is it-
I have the baby monitor next to my head. I keep lizards.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
So
You
anyway,
can't just keep repeating it.
no, when I suppose it's like Marconi. One just waits for the breakthrough.
When you say breakthrough,
Is that
you're
the sound of
suggesting the fault
lizards?
lies with us.
I'm not even going to discuss it.
Oh, please.
No.
Because
I'm
I like
moving
to. No, the thing is, I really like to get jokes.
Yeah, guess what? We all
I feel
do.
like if you explain
You
it,
might be on the wrong show.
I will eventually get there.
Well, anyway. So I have the baby monitor next to my
With
bed, or I
lizards.
did this week. So
I think I could use that at the Union Chapel. I keep lizards. Do you think it's?
try it.
It's
Then
not,
he's gonna
it's
get
not so
angry.
much Frank's joke, is it?
If you're
What even is it?
if you're a stand-up chameleon.
You're on fire, Frank.
So is that what it is? I thought it was Mike Reed's toast. So so obviously I'm woken up by my son. Now, when he was younger, he used to cry when he woke up in the morning. But now he calls things out, and it used to be like, "Daddy, Daddy," in the morning. But this week, I woke up on Tuesday morning with him going, "It's daytime! It's daytime! It's daytime!" I thought it was God telling me about the next phase of my television career. And it's like a weird alarm. One can imagine having that
Oh, I quite like
on
it's
an alarm.
daytime.
Like,
Yes.
but you sort of wake up, and it is daytime.
Yeah.
So that's become my method this week of waking up. But I realised I've actually got a few different. Obviously, I've got the alarm, which, as you know, is set on times like 6:04
Right.
Yes.
and stuff like that.
I'm a big fan of the 43.
Because I won't. Yes, I won't be a victim of the oppressive 12s. But I get woken up in various ways. Sometimes just people. I live quite near to the road, so sometimes just people shouting and stuff.
Oh, no.
Or You know those people, early morning jobs, like the fruit stall setting up, you know.
Oh, yeah.
It used to be whistling, but that seems to have...
Where do you live, Albion Market?
I live not far from Albion Market. And who was in that? There's a singer in it.
Oh, yes, there was. We'll get
Walking
there.
Back to Happiness. What was she called?
Yes, we'll get
Helen
there.
Shapiro.
Very good.
Very good.
So that's another method. Is that, like, for example, I was woken up once by an enormous... I live in Hampstead, which is quite a posh place, I'll be honest with you. And I was woken up by an enormous cheer, and that was when they realised that mansion tax wasn't going to happen. The local residents had joined together in one single voice. But I have other methods, which I will come to.
You're listening to the Frank Skinner podcast from Absolute Radio. Want your Frank fix a little sooner? Listen live every Saturday from 8 a.m. on Absolute Radio. Across the UK on digital radio, mobile apps, and in London and the South East on 105.8 FM.
Absolute Radio.
There's a certain percentage of the readership that got your baby monitor joke.
Thank you very much.
Possibly the most insulting thing you've ever said.
And they've been vocal. To help Alan and Emily with Frank's lizard pun, baby monitor joke, a monitor is a lizard, so woke up by a baby lizard. I'm not sure that explains it. It says 946.
It was a pun on monitor. The word
Yes.
monitor and its many uses. I could have said I was woken up by the baby monitor in the people who hands out the babies in our class.
Yeah.
You know, like the milk monitor. But I didn't go that obscure. I thought two bright people don't know about the monitor lizard.
Apparently
Did
not.
they, Buffalo?
Nick says, don't worry, Frank, I got the joke.
Thank you, Nick. I love you. And we got someone else who didn't get a joke, though, just to make you feel better.
We have. We've had 320 has texted in to say, morning, folks, lovely day for the radio. For months now,
It is. He's right.
I've been trying to figure out the meaning.
320. Okay.
For months now, I've been trying to figure out the meaning of the no but thanks for the tip line.
Well, it's an old joke originally from, I
Yes.
mean, when I say an old joke, I mean like probably from the 50s or before, in which a bloke says, do you know my sister May? And the other guy says, no, but thanks for the tip. In other words, that she may, if you're lucky, she
Yes.
may give you
know.
a big kiss and hug. Yeah.
So I would say, for example, do you know Ronnie Wood?
Yeah, and I say no, but thanks for the tip.
Well, I hope
because
you don't
Ronnie
say that.
would. See, there's a famous Doctor Who writer and script editor called Terence Dicks. But anyway, you know, you get the general
Move
gist.
on.
Samuel Pepys. Yeah, but he should mind his own business.
Yeah.
So it's all
Yeah.
that. Vanessa May,
Oh.
Victoria Wood,
Oh, that's good. Yeah. It's weird emphasis.
Kim Sears.
Yes.
There's,
So,
you know,
so I hear.
yeah, exactly. So that's it. That's the gist of it. Feel free to use it in your leisure and work life.
Do you think they're thinking,
know-
I'm having that?
Yeah.
This is going to be a great day for 320.
Why is that?
Well, as soon as you get that IEM... Oh, no, he's going to ask us what that is now. I haven't got the time. Haven't got the time.
Yeah, I think. Do you think when he does it, his friends will go 320? I think they will. They'll be wondering what that is.
So it's working, the
Well,
old...
we're all learning so much this morning. It's like the Open University.
I feel like you've become more chipper since hearing that people got
Yes.
your monitor joke.
Well,
I
of
would
course.
agree with you, Al. His whole
Really brightened him
demeanour's
up.
changed.
Because I'm not a person who's ever more than 300 yards away from doubt. But when you two didn't get it, I thought, I haven't invented this, the lizard monitor. That's the trouble with Google. I was talking to a friend, this is true, I was talking to a friend and I said, I'm going to Zurich in a couple of weeks. And he said, Zurich? And I thought, it is Zurich, isn't it? That's not what it's called. Terrible doubt.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So you were talking about you getting up.
Oh yes, the other one is the parrots, of course.
What's that?
We've got
here we
parrots. We've got parrots that live local.
Oh, have you?
I mean, in
Live local.
wild parrots.
Right. This isn't a joke about parrots, is it?
No,
It's
no.
not like, parrots
gonna
could
be
mean something else.
No, it's not going to be
And then
that.
we won't get what it is.
Nothing
and they'll be
about
angry.
lovely parakeets or anything like that. No, we've got there's these bright green parrots that live in the trees by us. There's all sorts of theories about how some say they were brought over for the filming of African Queen at, I think, Pinewood Studios. Some say they were owned originally by Jimi Hendrix and released by him. Probably dubious, but anyway, they fight in the morning in the tree, and they often wake me up, yeah. Something about Polly wanting a cracker seems to be the main cause of the argument. It'd be great if they spoke, if they were speaking in the morning. Don't ever! You've never loved my family! Stuff like that for the parrots. It's not me, it's you! That's more of the aftermath, I suppose, of the argument.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, what about you? Are you the totally alarm clock people?
Oh. Well, my problem is, now that I'm courting, as you both know,
Oh, yes.
I take even longer to get up in the morning. Because...
It's hot in here.
Big confessional, isn't it? 8:28.
I have to take this jacket off.
No, hear me out, because I love a chat. I love a chat, me. And now, I've got an audience all the time. So I like to schedule in a little 25-minute chat.
Oh,
I say chat,
nice.
it's mainly me talking.
Oh.
Okay.
It's about 25 minutes. If I don't get to talk, I actually feel depressed for the rest of the day.
Well, it's the same with the parrots.
They get really
That's
glum.
interesting. Well, René Descartes, the philosopher,
Yes.
never got up before 11 o'clock. He used to wake up quite early, and then he used to think. He used to spend the first 2 or 3 hours thinking.
I love
is
that
good.
chatting time. And I've got another little tip for any readers out there who struggle to get up, as I do. I hit the snooze button, and then instead of putting it back down on the bedside table, I just toss it in amongst the duvet. And then you'll have to hunt for it.
Ah.
It's a good tip. It works.
Well, I did the, when I used the alarm thing on my phone, I put it on the other side of the room.
Yeah.
So once you're up...
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
to do that. I like to do that. But I am also woken up by my little girl who shouts "Mummy" for about an hour, any time between 5:30 and 7.
You see, if Buzz shouts "Mommy," I'm thinking, well, this is not...
Oh, I do think
This
it's
has
not
nothing
my
to do with
problem, but I still get woken up.
Yeah.
It's not like I don't hear the word "mummy."
No, that'd
But
be
the
great.
worst she ever did was we were staying at my in-laws, and we were sort of asleep all in the same room. So the whole family, 2 children, 2 parents.
Oh, it's gone a bit Angela's Ashes.
And my daughter could speak. She could say normal words. And I woke up, and I remember sort of stirring. And you know when you feel that there's another human's face really close to yours?
Well, I can't remember.
She was
Oh,
nose
thanks.
to nose, like extremely
Wow.
close to me, giving me a strange stare. And I thought, oh, if she says something like "Morning, Daddy," or "I love you, Daddy," it'd be a really cute way of waking up. Bear in mind, she could speak English at this point. She said to me something like, "Thessaloniki."
What was
I
it?
woke up to her speaking in tongues. It was really,
That's a
really
region. That's a region in
terrifying.
Greece, isn't it?
It was awful.
Yes, Thessalonica, she was trying to say.
Thessalonica.
She'd been looking through holiday brochures all night, it turned out.
Had you been having a long discussion about where to go on holiday the previous night? Oh, okay.
That's what I do to my boyfriend.
It's
Venice,
terrifying.
Caribbean.
Yeah, Kath does it with me. Cornwall. Kath doesn't like to fly.
Skinner, Dean, and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
On the subject of getting up in the morning, has my mum made this up, or is this a thing, like an old wives' tale? If you hit your head on the pillow a certain number of times, that you'll wake up at that time.
Oh, I think I have heard
So
that.
my mum would claim, like, if you've got to get up at 6, you just have to bash your head on the pillow 6
There used to be a revision theory at school that if you slept with the book under your pillow, that when you wake
Yes.
up you
Oh,
would
I
have
tried
remembered.
that.
Did it work?
I wish that.
Did it Buffalo, Frank?
Yeah, I don't think that works. I sometimes sleep with the curtains open so that I can wake up sort of naturally.
I've gone a bit Pete Doherty.
You know, it takes me back to my grass verges.
You could have done with Buzz then, saying it's daytime. It's only about 4 p.m. Daddy, it's daytime.
Daytime? Where's the sherry? No,
I could have done with him in the 90s.
You know, people actually buy lamps that do that.
True, yeah.
That they wake you up gradually like that, like the sun coming up.
Oh, you see, I'd like that.
But why buy the lamp if you don't open the curtains?
Yeah.
Al?
Good point. Good
More
point.
money saved.
Hashtag thrifty.
And then we've got, if I'd have a lie-in, we've got an accordion player, Busker, who stands in the road by my house.
No.
So I get woken
Such
up.
a liar.
No, it's absolutely true. Why would I lie about that?
Wow, why would he be in your road?
Do you live on
Well,
a
he's
main
in-
road?
We can all carry on this route. Why?
Well, I don't know why, but he basically plays one tune, which is, do you know, Oh How We Danced on the Night We Were Wed? That's barrel organ. I'm not sure I can do accordion.
No,
Or
but
is
I'm
it,
familiar with the sound. I know
What's
it.
what do they play the Godfather?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Anyway, he's more of a...
We should perhaps just let the readers know he's not pressing any buttons here. This is
No,
all
I'm doing all this orally.
This isn't SFX.
It's made me realise that he is designed for passers-by, isn't he, as a busker?
Oh,
so it's
yeah.
all right to play the same tune because you're not supposed to sit and listen to it for 2 hours. So, you know, it's a fine tune, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Whenever I always imagine if it rains, he'll be there in an umbrella hat.
Oh, yeah.
It's your only option, really, as an accordion player.
Good point.
Yeah. Otherwise, when you do one of the long notes, you're getting wet again because the umbrella's getting further away. These are the things I think about when I lie in bed for the 30 seconds I'm allowed to lie in bed every morning.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
So I had a request this week, which I think has pushed my celebrity to new heights.
Oh,
Lovely. What was it?
Someone wants to know if they can name their racing greyhound after me.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Fine.
But it's not... They want to call it Viking Frank Skinner.
Why?
Why's that then?
And there must be a I reckon they probably have got a series of dogs called Viking with different things. Do you know what I mean? Like they're relatives.
Oh, like Viking Myling Class.
Yeah, exactly.
Viking Rusty Lee.
Yeah, Viking Paul Coyer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe, you know, it sounds like an action figure, doesn't it? The Viking Frank Skinner, don't you think? So you could buy various action figures of me in different historical way.
Wasn't there a military writer, Frank Skinner, some guy that
Yes.
you were getting posts for ages ago?
No, that's absolutely right. There was someone we discovered him on
An
Amazon.
American
was-
military ops guy.
He wasn't a Viking.
You don't think you've got some of his posts and they want to name a racing greyhound?
I'd be upset now to find that. So yeah, Viking Frank Skinner.
Okay.
I've saw that. I think you can get the Ku Klux Klan Jeremy Clarkson
Oh, yeah.
action figure.
Excellent.
Ku Klux Clarkson, they call it.
Why do
And
we
of
need
course,
your permission?
Nazi Princess Margaret. I always used to say the Ku Klux Klan. Did you used to?
Yeah.
It's
it's
Ku, isn't it? The first one, like as in Ku Stark.
Is
Yes.
it?
Yeah. Do you say Clue as well?
Oh, I'll bear
think I
that in
used
mind
to.
next time I communicate with them.
No, but they
Why-
they sometimes crop up in conversation. You'll admit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When I'm in Georgia. Yes.
Sometimes, you know, if say if I'm walking around in just a sheet at home, as one does sometimes, if you're replicating a spectre. But yeah, anyway, Ku Klux. I remember that radio show. I'm sorry I happened to Ku Klux Klan. So yeah, I quite like the Cluedo,
Cluedo.
which is like right-wing Play-Doh.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it's quite exciting. I feel though I'll have to start gambling now, won't I? Because if Viking Frank Skinner is running, I'm gonna have to put a few bob on it.
Well,
We all
you
were.
need the ones that go, because I used to like that. I don't know, is this an urban myth sort of thing you know about greyhounds?
Is it?
Well, you've got one, haven't you?
I've got a whippet, yeah.
Same thing.
It's a sort of travel greyhound.
Yeah, like
Is that
a
an
mini.
urban myth about if they go to the bathroom at the beginning of the race, this is a good sign and the one
that
you should
right?
bet on? This is what I've heard, because they're leaner.
I've heard if you see
Right,
them
more
before the
stringent.
race banging their head on a pillow, that's where they're going to finish.
Right, yeah.
Daisy pointed out that thing about banging your head on the pillow. Daisy, our producer, some of you will know, we don't keep livestock. She pointed out that when you bang your head on the pillow, if you deliberately do it on the side of the pillow, that's for half past.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, can you believe the simple ways of the folklore-driven people of this country? That's a sentence I didn't think I was going to get out of. As I think it was Ronnie Big said to
I'm
me
not
once.
convinced you still have.
No, I think it was all right. We can play it back.
Frank Skinner.
On Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
I tell you what, there used to be an exhibition at Wembley of all the sort of great heroes of Wembley, people who'd played there in bands and footballers. And they used to have Mick the Miller, who was a famous greyhound.
Yeah.
They used to have his jacket there. But it was like Spangly. Because Spangly, like he was so big, he'd gone to sort of a bit Liberace.
Oh, lovely.
You know those little jackets?
Like a
they wear?
sequin jacket.
Yeah.
Right.
But you know the jackets with the numbers on, they run in.
Yeah, yeah.
I've often thought I might get one of those for that warm weather.
Oh, yeah.
It's something you never
Just
see
like
people.
a buckle.
I mean, well, it's got like a proper back to it, but I think it'd be all right to wear with jeans.
Oh, yeah. Isn't it
I wear it with jeans.
just like a
They're
waistcoat?
awful.
Well, that's what people do now. They wear the sportswear of sports events that they themselves don't take part in, don't they?
Yeah.
So me wearing a greyhound jacket's absolutely reasonable. I was thinking the number 6, the number 6 is always striped.
Is it?
Yeah. And then just a band across the waist to put your embassies in, and your fags, and your matches.
Matches. Doesn't even buy a lighter. #thrifty.
Yes. #thrifty. I can't find it. I can find it. I can. Oh dear.
I think I'm somewhat maligned in the thriftiness sticks.
Do you think so?
Yeah, in fact, I've got an email here that I think I might bring to your attention, Frank.
Oh yeah.
Dear Frank, Emily and Alan, long-term reader, first-time correspondent, just listened to last Saturday's podcast, as I do every week, during my rather mundane commute. Frank's celebration of the crystal 1.6mm ballpoint pen got me thinking. He said that the average crystal 1.6 lasts him only circa 3 weeks. I'm sure I've had ballpoints that have seen me through decades, let
Yes,
alone
but
weeks.
I'm prolific. You've forgotten I'm prolific.
Well, he's taken that into account. I am well aware that he keeps a hand-penned journal, but even so, 3 weeks seems to me a very rapid rate of ink depletion. That eBay bulk purchase is really sounding like a scam to me.
You take that back.
What next? A ream of paper with only 498 sheets instead of the genuine 500? Well, this
The
is
alarm's gone
interesting,
off.
isn't it?
Is there your houseman in the building?
No, yes, maybe he's arrived. Oh, I'm enjoying this.
How exciting.
It's either exciting or the worst day of our lives.
I did promise the people who sent me that fountain pen that if we mentioned ballpoints again, I'd find a way of changing the
The
subject.
apology alarm.
I kind of like this. We're going to have to go to
I know
adverts.
what it is.
You know when you said that I was on fire this morning? It turned out it was the basement.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text our show on 81215. Follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio. Email the show via the Absolute Radio website. There are firemen in the building.
I know. Why do you think I've been doing my hair?
Can you say firemen? Is that still? Are there any fire women?
people.
Oh, yeah.
There might be fire people.
But are there fire women? Do they?
I think there might be, yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen a firewoman.
It's amazing what they can do now, though. It really is.
Oh,
Are you sure they're genuine
come on, a
firemen?
bundle.
And not just some magic Mike thing? They're not just like... No, but they look like they could be Chippendales or
Well,
something.
what I'm thinking, well, every fireman looks like that. There was a fire alarm, And then we had to go outside, and then we came back in, and then firemen arrived. I'm thinking they might be real.
Yeah.
Unless they're opportunist dance troupe who drive around looking for smoke.
As it happens, we have a text from one of our regulars, Dandy Man, Morning Radio Squad. I know how Frank is a stickler for process, so I'm surprised this has been missed. Before the news, when the alarm was going off, Emily said, "Is A.E. Houseman in the building?" Good, respect is due.
Yes.
As the great man had been mentioned, I was waiting for the appropriate noise to sound, but it didn't. Did Frank miss the mention or have his standards slipped? Keep up the work you're all contractually obliged to provide.
You're right to say that is the A house, and I did have that. I ought to press it now, but I thought if I press that while the fire alarm's going on,
Coughing,
It's going to
the whole
result
place
in
might fold in, like you know when you there is a fireman outside waving.
Hi.
That's lovely.
Hi.
Okay, I
Can
could ask
you
him
can
if there's
leave
any
your hat
such-
on or something. They like that kind of music.
Can you
don't they?
ask him if you get fire women?
Oh, yeah. Do you want me to pop
Oh, he's
out?
gone.
I don't think that's appropriate.
Well, he'd know, wouldn't he?
What, if I say to him, "Do you get fire women?" He might just think that I'm saying,
It's a bit of
like,
a thrill for
dating.
him using the stairs, because usually
He might
it's
think
all
you're not
ladders.
quite right.
He might
Ladders
say,
and
"I'm not the
poles."
kind of kiss and tell."
A man walks up to you and says, "Do you get fire women?"
Well, it's a perfectly reasonable question. In this, you know, I've got A-level sociology.
Well, Steve.
E, okay, E.
Did you?
Steve, you know.
Get an
Steve
E?
has tweeted us to say the term is firefighters in this enlightened age.
Okay.
There you go.
What about if they're getting a cat out of a tree?
Good point.
What are they then? Cat removal squad?
Cat women.
No, it would be
They sound such a Hoxton band, cat removal squad.
cat lowerers. That's what it would be. Cat altitude adjusters.
Yeah.
The CAAs.
Oh, yeah.
We better call the CAA, Steve. Got a cat up a tree incident. That's how I see it going at the switchboard. It's been very exciting. I can't actually smell burning, can you?
No.
I think
No.
it could be. But what about if it is Mike Reed's toast after all our jocularity? I mean, he does. He likes it severe.
Severe.
Yeah, but, you know, I like toast. I just like it to be just tickled, but he likes it.
Crisp.
Oh, super crisp.
Skinner, Dean, and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
You know who we haven't discussed this morning? Minaj.
Oh, yes.
Because there was... you're familiar with Twitter, aren't you, Frank?
Yes.
Oh, excellent.
I believe we have a sort of an account.
Yes, we do.
I don't,
Minaj is one of the...
I don't interfere with it.
No.
No, you're not Twitterati, are you?
No.
You're more Gitterati.
I am.
That's what I'm calling you.
I am more guitarata, I accept that.
But Taylor Swift, she's one of those Americans...
Taylor
that-
Swift? Yes, he turned these trousers up in less than 5 minutes.
I love that's such a 1950s joke. But she's got one of those surnames as forenames,
I
hasn't
know,
she?
those pretty American women with
Yes.
surnames as first name. That's what I'd put in Room 101.
Oh,
Would
yeah.
you?
Atkinson Ron. Have you seen her? She's the straightest looking woman.
She got into a
Taylor
Twitter...
Graham.
Graham Taylor. Very good.
She got into...
Skinner Frank could
Yes.
definitely
Oh,
be one
definitely.
of those.
Yes, could we all... What about...
I don't think Cochrane Allen.
Cochrane,
yes,
yes,
it could. I can picture her.
I can.
I can picture her.
I can't.
Yeah, slightly sandy haired.
Can you
and a
draw
little
her?
bit
Cochrane,
freckly.
I can picture
Could you
her.
draw her to me? Could you
Yeah.
draw? I need to,
Okay, I'll draw.
I need
I'll
a
draw.
visual aid.
I'm going to send you my drawing of Cochrane Allen.
Well, that
Yeah.
sounds good, yeah.
I can definitely imagine a Badil David as well.
Maybe. Cochrane Allen I find more.
Okay.
Syllabically feels good. Anyway,
I'm
Taylor,
not really aware of Taylor Swift and...
Oh, come on.
I quite like Taylor Swift.
she's a former Styles.
Very good, Frank. And she's now dating
exponent.
Calvin Harris.
Is she really?
She's dated them all. Calvin Harris.
I love his pants.
Yeah.
That's what Calvin Klein calls those ones that particularly flatter your behind. He calls them the Calvin Harris.
Does it?
The Calvin Harris exaggerator. Because it exaggerates your Harris. You get it?
Yes, no, I understand.
Your Harris. Oh, you having a laugh? Don't answer that, by the way, with texts. For God's sake.
Bang, let me tell you what happened.
No, yes, I have heard it, but it's exciting.
Okay,
showbiz stuff.
She got into a Twitter feud, Taylor Swift, with Nicki Minaj.
Beef.
Now, are you familiar with Minaj?
Well, yes, we've discussed Minaj on here
She's got
before.
the impressive posterior.
Yeah, she is. She's got that. She's one of those women with the big bottom, which has become so popular nowadays.
Thank you very much.
And I think she wanted the grass cut outside her trailer at Glastonbury.
This isn't a euphemism, by the way.
Oh, was that her?
Yeah.
I think that was Minaj.
She was upset because she didn't get an MTV Best Video nomination.
So
What a thing to be upset about.
So am I. I'm upset about that.
She says if your video celebrates women with very slim bodies, you'll be nominated for Video of the Year.
Many of mine do.
Can I point out?
Yeah.
I've seen videos that do, but not for a long time. Now, the thing is, she didn't just say if your video celebrates women with very slim bodies, you were nominated for it. She added 13 smiley face emojis.
She did.
The suggestion that it was a remark that would have gone down well at the Last Supper.
That
Which
is
I
exactly
resent.
what 13 emojis, that is exactly what everyone means by 13 emojis.
13 smiley face emojis, though.
Yeah.
And smiling so much that the cheeks are slightly pinkened. You know that one?
Yes.
If
Oh,
it's
I know
last-
that one.
If it's Last Supper, surely
That's the
one of them should
passive-aggressive
be in
one.
a sad face emoji, shouldn't it? Just the one.
Is this a complicated question? Can you only get Caucasian emojis? Hold on, I'll ask the firefighter.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We were talking about Minaj V Swift.
Actually,
Yeah.
a lot of people have texted you to say it's very PC in the emoji world, so you can relax.
So there are non.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm surprised Minaj didn't. Because he was making a point, wasn't she, about that?
Yeah, I think so.
Minaj was, yeah.
Oh, it's a complicated area. Let's back off a little out of this little cul-de-sac and go back to lightheartedness.
Yeah?
But
Producer's getting
Taylor,
anxious, I can tell.
I think she thought Minaj was throwing her shade, as I believe they say.
Is that what they say?
Yeah.
Throwing
is that right,
her
Daisy?
shade.
Throwing a shade.
Oh,
Is that
lovely.
dancing? I've heard about that. Is that throwing shapes?
No, you've got that wrong.
Oh,
Is it throwing shade or throwing shade?
throwing
Don't
shapes.
throw me
is-
shade.
Well, anyway,
We know what we're talking. Okay, don't be
Having
so
a go at-
patient with me like I'm your partner of 20 years.
having a go. You are sort of.
Okay. Anyway, so they had a huge row. She thought Nicki was subtweeting her,
What does
which
that
is
mean?
obviously the worst thing you can do.
Subtweeting. What does
So-
that mean? That she's renting out her tweet to someone else and charging them rent?
Yeah.
No, I know you're a slum landlord,
Ever the
but that's not what it
landlords.
means. What a subtweet is. So, for example, if I was to tweet and not at you in, and I just said, nice to see someone on the Brits not wearing a Union Jack shirt for once,
Okay.
that would be directed at you, but I wouldn't be atting you. So it's a slightly passive-aggressive diss. Do you
Isn't that a
understand?
nicer thing to do
see.
rather than at someone and slag them off, isn't it?
I don't make the rules, love.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Who does make the rules?
I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, so she subtweeted her. I feel like I'm on my own in this subject. You two know nothing about it.
But that's all right.
I'm
That's
speaking
good, you see,
Esperanto to you both.
because people at home who know nothing we are their representatives, and the Twitterati are thinking, thank God Emily's there. She knows the stuff. We appeal to everyone. We are every man.
Yeah.
Then
Stroke woman.
Katy Perry got involved.
Yes.
Do you know her?
Oh God,
Yes.
yes.
Okay, Katy
I've seen her live.
She sided with
I
Minaj.
say I've seen her live.
Have you? She sided with Minaj, Frank, because she's got beef with Taylor.
Has she?
Yeah.
Yes.
They had a row over backing dancers.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, because let's face it, Katy Perry just took all the people that Taylor worked with.
Did she?
And
Yeah.
and that's why in that song Bad Bloods, is she criticises, oh, she doesn't name names, but we know.
All right, there's bad bloods there.
That was
isn't
like
there?
when
It's-
Frank
I
and
see.
David fell out over the Skinnerettes, wasn't it?
It's very similar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, when Dave took them on holiday.
Strange.
Had to pay for their own airfare, though.
Yeah, I think the problem was that Taylor... I can't believe this is like heat radio now.
Just a tad.
Nothing wrong with that, can I say, as it's owned by the same people around
Yes.
They also make very good gardening magazines, can I tell you? Company man, yes! So, she's had a lot of nominations, Taylor Swift, and she's slim.
Yeah.
So I think it was reasonable to think she's having a go at me. I think she was having a go. I don't care what they say now. She was having a go at Taylor Swift, and I'm not having it.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
Isn't it bad enough that Styles was all over her like a terrible rash? And I'm not saying a terrible rash is out of the question. She said, by the way, on the subject of women, said maybe one of the men took your slot.
Yeah.
Well, surely she'd have felt something.
Oh, my God!
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
I mean, Minaj, she should have her own Imanajis, which is her face.
She could have done that.
I bet she could. People will start doing that, won't they? They'll start having personalised celebrity emojis. Yo, mark my words.
I worry a bit about Taylor. I love her music, don't get me wrong.
Do you?
Yes, I do. I knew you judged me for that.
I didn't judge you, I'm just astonished.
Okay.
I don't know her music, I'm sure I've heard it, and I'm sure
Daisy,
it's lovely.
Daisy likes her music? Oh,
Yes.
she's not sure.
She's not
Okay.
quite so sure.
Daisy only likes R&B.
Thanks for having my back, Daisy. Yeah, anyway, I like music, but I worry that she might be a bit of a frenemy, Taylor.
Oh, one of those.
Frenemy. Is that the guy who used to manage Southampton?
No, it's a friend who's actually an enemy.
Laurie McFrenemy.
A friend who's actually an enemy. So they're like, oh,
Okay.
you look amazing. Oh, you'd never know you're a size 16.
Well, what
Is that
about
a thing?
It's that kind of thing.
But what about this
I've
for
got
a
that friend.
Yeah.
Now, what if I'd said this? Let's say I'd been. Well, anyway, she said, "Look, I've always supported you, Nikki." She said, "If I do win an award,
Yes.
you can come up with me." If you
Oh,
like.
she never.
She did.
She did.
Oh, I
You
don't
can come
like
up
that.
with it.
I mean, imagine if when we won Best Speech Programme, I'd gone up
It's
hand
hardly
in...
the same thing, Frank.
No, but if I'd
You're
gone
winning
up
Best
hand in
Speech
hand
programme.
with Nick Ferrari, I mean, it would have
And
looked
Nick
a bit
Clegg.
strange. Yeah, but that's what she said. Who's going to go up hand in hand with the winner?
No. It's not appropriate.
Yeah.
So that was... So you think she might have a bit of side?
I
bit
think
of
she might
side.
throw shade.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
Swifto. Okay.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I don't even think I'd want a video music award. Who wants
Well, that's
one?
good.
Who wants one of
That's
those?
convenient, because you know what?
I'm not eligible.
You're not going to get one.
Oh, all right.
yeah.
Oh, now I do want one. You're right, actually.
The firefighters...
It's amazing how they get...
I'm saying firefighters naturally now.
That's good. How quickly you've picked up to
What
the
if
modern ways.
What if the Cockerel teamed up with Thick? Oh, I'd love
With who?
that.
Robin Thicke?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we've been texting. We're discussing projects. We're going to get some studio time and see what we can do.
Why doesn't he team up with Taylor Swift and they can call their double act Thick and Thin?
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
We've had emails. You got mail.
Yes. I'll begin.
For sure.
Dear Frank, Emily and Alan, with regard to 9-10 do, would you care to explain, Frank?
I was saying, it occurred... We have a thing on this show called idiotic eureka moments, is when you work things out after the rest of the population.
Yeah.
Like, do you know my sister May? Thanks for the tip. That was one. I was saying that I was looking at the word Nintendo, and it suddenly struck me that it means 9-10 do, as in that's the countdown, 9-10, and then do it. Play that game.
Yes.
And then some people came in and said, what are you talking about? They said, but I mean in the texts.
Yes.
So I think we're still pending complete clarification.
Well, Matt believes he has a clarification.
Okay.
The Japanese word do means the way of, as in karate do, the way of the empty
Is
hand.
that called karate do?
Karate do. That's how I would have thought of it when I was a karate.
Why is it only called karate then, generally speaking?
I think it's probably a westernised shortening.
What, we can't say do?
It means the way of the empty hand.
It does mean the way of the empty hand, that much I know.
Okay. Bushido. I like saying it like that.
Yeah.
Sounds a bit common. The way of the warrior.
That I didn't know.
And as Alan can tell you...
Ludo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ludwig Kennedy.
Remember to put the seat back down.
The
as
way
Alan
of the toilet.
can tell you, judo, the gentle way.
Yeah, I mean, actually, my stronger suit is the karate from when I was a young man. But I've dabbled in the judo also.
Oh, you've done all the martials.
Oh, I've done
he has.
various martials, mate.
Isn't it? Yeah. And then he always says, no, I'm not at all macho.
I know.
But he is. So
Do you know what he is?
He likes knocking people about.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah. Hashtag alpha. Secret alpha, as you are as well, I've told you both. So simply put, Nintendo means the way of Ninten. Not sure what Ninten means, though.
9-10. The way of 9-10. In other words, it's all about chronology.
It's one of those really clarifying emails that we received.
the way of counting, it means.
We've cleared that
the way
up.
of counting. It suggests that Nintendo is essentially all about maths, which it probably is if you sat and worked it out.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like bark.
my favourite bit of this was Bushido, the way of the warrior. I didn't know that. Bushy-do means you need a trim, doesn't it, in my world?
Yeah.
Not a bushy-do.
Oh, you
Time
cleaned
for a
that up a
haircut.
bit.
Goodness
Yeah, I
me.
have cleaned that up. I certainly have.
Respect to you for that.
You work
Exactly.
clean.
I do work clean. Muppet clean.
Mop it clean.
I've not told you this.
No.
I was at the...
Can you tell me this on air?
We should explain
Yes.
what work clean means as well, shouldn't we?
Work clean is obviously an American or North American thing that they say about stand-ups that don't do dirty stuff.
Oh,
don't
yes.
they?
Can you work clean?
Yeah.
Do you work clean? Do you work clean, Alan? And when I was at Just for Laughs, which I think is on now,
Yeah.
the Muppets were on, and an act was told to remove a reference to he had a joke about how he didn't drink alcohol, and they said, you've got to take that out because it mentions alcohol and you're on the same bill as the Muppets. And he was saying, but no, I'm doing a joke about not drinking. They said, we can't have alcohol mentioned.
Really?
Yeah. And Dave Gorman told me that he was in a lift and he overheard someone saying, I mean, I can work clean, but this is Muppet clean.
What about when I got in a lift at the Melbourne Comedy Festival, and there was a man called the Enigma, and he had his entire body was tattooed as a jigsaw.
Oh.
And he had a shaven head, and he'd had coral implants in his head to give him grown horns.
Right.
And he had all this horrible jigsaw tattoo over his face. And this woman got him with this kid who was about 4. And he was just staring. Now kids just stare straight at him. And the kid said, he's like a puzzle.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
We're still in the
Still in the corner.
Oh, yeah.
Still in email corner. Dear Frank, Ems and Alan. How do you feel about that, Emily?
I love M's.
Ems, okay. Dear Frank, Ems and Alan. Catching up.
Do you like both names, M and M's?
Oh, very
Do you
good,
like M and M?
yes, I
Very
do.
good. Very good.
Thanks very much.
Well
You're on
done.
fire today.
I tell you, that wasn't me. It
Part of
was-
the problem.
Where have those firemen
it was
gone?
the
Have they
toaster.
gone now?
Post-read toast. Firefighters, we have to
Oh,
call them.
sorry, firefighters.
Which is a bit
Another one.
harsh. It doesn't seem to allow for the fact that, generally speaking, fire starts it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, they're more they're fire responders.
Fire pacifiers.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, what we're going to call them? The armed forces, foreigner fighters.
I guess he's foreigner.
You can say that.
I don't like it, though.
No, I don't like it. Okay.
Dear Frank, Ems and Alan, catching up with the show from last year about Alan falling off his bike. Oh,
I don't
thanks
remember
for
that.
bringing that up.
I
I
loved
must
it
have
when
been
that
away
happened.
that week.
It was, I'll tell you what it was. Do you remember I had that folding bike? I had a folding bike. that-
Lynn Foldswood.
Alan Fold's
No, but
bike,
thanks for the
I was
tip.
known as. And, you know, like on You've seen a folding bicycle?
Yes, I've seen a folding bicycle.
I was riding one of those.
I bought David Baddiel one once.
Did you?
You did.
And I accidentally went the wrong way up a one-way road, realised it, and tried to turn quickly off it and hit a pothole and went over the handlebars. I think at the time I likened myself to something like a spider riding a penny farthing, because I'm gangly and the bike's all...
I think the police there, they've put a little microchip in. If you go up the wrong way up a one-way road on a folding bike, it folds immediately.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Well, I fell victim to that. It went a bit slow motion and there was a pedestrian I could see him laughing as I was going over the handlebars.
Oh, that's it. I hate pedestrians. I know, actually I am one sometimes.
Cycling up through an unfamiliar part of town, I got a bit lost, so I sneaked up a one-way street on the pavement. Passing a chap about 10 yards on my right, his face turned an extraordinary shade of purple and he shouted "scum" at me.
Yes.
I appreciate I was
agree.
perhaps
To
tiptoeing
be
on
fair,
the...
he was wearing an SS uniform on his bike.
I appreciate I was perhaps tiptoeing on the dark side of the highway code, but scum, really? Can I say a couple of things?
I'm going scum.
Couple of things. I love the idea of the dark side of the highway code.
Oh, yes,
I
that
think
is
that was
good.
the original draft title for the dark side of the moon, and then they
Yes.
realised it just didn't scan quite so well. And also, I think actually the guy that shouted scum might be a listener to this show, and maybe he's just refused to Google, and for ages he's been thinking, what is the film that Ray Winston was in as a child in
Yes.
Borsal, and then he's got...
Yes.
Had an IEM.
So don't take it so personally, would be mine.
Yes, it was that week we had films from the 70s that you weren't allowed
Yeah.
to Google. Because I was cycling the wrong way up a one-way road and a bloke suddenly went, "The go-between!" I mean, it was quite a week, that 70s. Call the courage!
Condor Man. Oh no, that's 80s.
What did you say then? Condor?
Condor Man.
Oh, that was close. Forget I'm Catholic, you people.
Skinner, Dean, and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. I was enthralled, The Guardian. I'm with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text the show on 8 12 15. Please do. We get all sorts of interesting stuff coming in. Or follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, or email the show via the Absolute Radio website.
Can I just ask, have you got a poster quote, "I was enthralled, The Guardian"?
No.
Oh, I really thought you'd thrown in a genuine one there.
I made that up. I'll be honest with you.
We need to, in my role on this show, I was not self-appointed as the motoring correspondent, but I have
You are, yes.
Yes.
somewhat reluctantly taken on that mantle, and in that role we need to talk about the Queen, who last Sunday, I believe it was, swerved whilst driving her racing green Jaguar
She still
X-Type.
drives. How old is the
Amazing.
Queen?
89.
Whoa.
Is it really?
Yes, 89.
Wow.
I like the way you went a bit street there. Is it really?
That is...
Yes.
That is
Oh.
impressive. that she's
see, it
still
shows
driving.
how many years are taken off our lives by working. So, yes, it was it's an incredible story. I'm
It's
sure
amazing.
if I did that, I'd be in serious trouble.
Yeah, it's almost
It's all-
like different rules apply.
So
for
we
the
should
Queen.
say she's driving through a park.
She's driving through. Is it Windsor?
It's
There's a
called
couple
Windsor
with their-
Great Park.
There's a couple with their child, and instead of waiting for them to, just slowing up a
across,
bit, let
yeah.
them move out the way, she drives onto the grass.
Yeah.
I think she hit 3 deer.
They're hers anyway.
But yeah, she was going to kill them anyway later.
That was lunch.
It saved her having to load up.
a couple of swans in the bumper.
Yeah, but and she drove onto the grass. I mean,
She's basically the new George Michael.
I've often thought that.
or Clarkson. I think she was filming the new Top Gear. That's,
Incredible.
I love it when the Queen
Joy.
goes Grand Theft Auto.
you really did.
I love it when she does that.
I was really disappointed she wasn't driving an old Beetle.
Were you?
Yeah,
I
it was
liked-
Hitler's car, wasn't he? He pioneered the development.
It's
Yeah.
the only time. What I most
You know,
enjoy.
I've got one. I've told you this. I've got an old Beetle, and it's been hermetically sealed. It's in Birmingham.
No.
All the fluids are taken out. It's been hermetically sealed, so I can get it out at some point. I thought I'd wait till the whole anti-Hitler thing blows over,
Oh yeah. Good
and
luck
then
with that.
and then get that out. No, I have honestly got that. I got an old Beetle. I love the old Beetle.
And you're not even the motoring correspondent on this show, but you've got an original Beatle.
I have been in that Beatle listening to Kraftwerk, which is the most fabulously German experience.
That does sound really German.
Anyway, back to the Queen.
I like that she went off-roading, Al, whilst wearing a pink floral hat.
Brilliant.
On her way to church.
Yeah.
Well, it's a tradition, isn't it? If you see a driver in a hat, be careful. I don't know if it's true nowadays, because a lot of the young people wear hats.
Is that right?
Oh, God. Indoors.
That sounds like one of the things your dad would have said, and always have salt in your pocket.
Speaking of the old days, the Telegraph, in their article, described the Queen as a keen motorist. Has anyone been described as that since the 50s?
No.
Even the word motorist. It's gone.
Yeah. I thought it was great. And, you know, is it tempting to think that she was rushing to church the day after those pictures had been printed? Is there any link
to confess?
That? Yeah.
I don't think they confessed to the Anglicans.
Maybe she was going to a different one. Yeah, that's true.
She wouldn't go to a different
She did. She gave the pedestrians that she threw shade over. She did give them a little wave, which I thought you'd enjoy, Frank. That was the quote.
Yeah, that thought it was a little wave. I remember I used to live by not far from Buckingham Palace, and there was smoke in one corner of the estate, and I always liked to think it was the gloves bonfire. Because, you know, she wears gloves in order to shake hands with ordinary people, and then as soon as she gets out, they're taken off and burnt on the grounds. Do you know that?
No.
Is that right?
And I love to think that was the gloves bonfire. They wait a few months till there's a big pile and then burn them all in one go. Yes. If there's anyone who worked at Buckingham Palace, even Burrell, call in and let us know if that exists.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
So, you know, we were talking about the Queen a few weeks ago, and she received that painting.
And that's when it all went wrong for me with the Queen.
Well, I remember I had a moment on that during that story, because she was given a pony aged 3, and I remember saying, I think the Queen might be spoiled. And now it turns out she's allowed to drive without a licence. She hasn't actually ever sat a test.
That's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, she's the only person who doesn't have to have a licence. She's allowed to drive without a licence. Her and George Michael. The only two individuals in the country.
But why would that be?
It's amazing.
A law?
Because she's the monarch, and it would have been made in 1501.
Yeah, she could have.
Still take a driving test.
And also, isn't it open to abuse by Queen lookalikes? Isn't there because who's going to ID a Queen if they buy a green...
What, Jeanette Charles?
If they buy
That's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. Do you remember her?
Yeah, I love Jeanette Charles. She got so much work in Mind Your Language and things like that.
I reckon you could get one of those green Jaguar X-Type 4x4s with the same dog cage that the Queen has in the back of hers.
Yeah.
I reckon you could probably pick one of the... 2.5 from Auto Trader.
There you go. That's why he's here.
Most depressing conversation I've ever had.
I didn't know the Queen had a dog cage.
She had a yeah.
There's quite a lot of facts, don't you?
I do know a lot of facts.
It's a waste of... She could have a dog, but she could turn it into 2 floors because the corgis are quite low.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I love a corgi.
Do you?
Well, yeah, but you know what would stop me getting one? I worry that people might look at it and think, oh, dogs look like their owner, you look a bit similar.
Oh, no, I don't.
Because I'm not tall, you see.
That's
why I wouldn't get a sausage
That
dog.
French woman... Do you remember that French woman had the face transplanted? The dog bit her face off when she was unconscious.
Keep it light, love.
They said in the paper that the dog was running around with her face. And they say you get to look like your owners. Anyway, that's
actually we've had. I'm not sure if I can believe this. This is Steve 982 has texted. Also, guys, I do believe the Queen has an HGV licence from her days in the WI. That can't be true, can it?
She has not. That would be amazing.
That'd be great. If she's walking around the palace thinking something to fall back on, I've always got the heavy goods vehicle.
I think I did see her in a lay-by once, listening to country and western music.
Yeah, I think she might be in some of that footage trying to get through Calais.
Do you think she's still trying to get through to people on the CB radio?
Oh, man.
I love the
What
Queen
I'd like to know, do you remember those air fresheners you used to see in cars that were crowns, little crowns that you lifted
Yes.
up? I hope she's got one of them.
Oh, yeah.
You've got to have one of them.
And a filthy teddy on the front.
It used to be Michelin Man on the grill. I think, you know, where people have the red nose thing on the grill. I think she's got the old black square moustache on the front. It's an incredible story. Surely it's not all right for a woman of her age to be driving that kind of recklessly around parks.
Oh, I would agree with you.
What can we do about it, guys?
Well, I don't know. You see, I drive slightly like the Queen, so I sympathise. Because I drive a bit like Mr Magoo. And I'm more like an old lady sort of hunched over the wheel.
Yeah,
so,
with the long gloves.
Yeah, with the long gloves.
I've always thought with the driving gloves, wouldn't it be good to keep them attached to the wheel?
Oh, right, like mittens
Some have them sort of stitched onto the wheel, and you put them on like when you're handling an isotope in a laboratory. And they're just like, then you're in the right position all the time, and you're not wearing them for other things, getting them dirty. You heard it here first. Yeah, go on, sell them, I don't care.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
So we could talk about me if you want. We could bring up my little life.
Okay, Mike Garwood.
Very lovely. This is me.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is me.
I've been gigging about, but I had a very strange brief encounter at the house the other day, my home.
Was it Trevor Howard?
Do you ever have encounters so brief you then later wonder if they've actually happened? I was in the house
back in the day.
What about that time that I hadn't been out with someone for about 6 months, and I actually heard myself saying in my flat one morning, "You're very attractive for a postwoman." I mean, what was I thinking about? Anyway, carry on. Opportunist. I was so lazy they had to actually come and knock on my door with a parcel. Anyway, sorry, Al.
Well, this wasn't... I was chopping vegetables to make the children some dinner, and possibly me, and I heard a strange... and I could smell, like, incense or something. And then our front door has glass in it, so you can I could see a figure moving on the other side of the front door.
Oh.
Front door knocked, I walked towards it, and I could hear this sort of strange like music, and I opened it, and there was an older sort of hippie-ish version of Mick Hucknall, like a Mick Hucknall casting bracket.
Was it Rebecca Brooks?
No, it was just this chap, and with headphones on, but turned outwards, not on his ears, just at the side of his neck, playing music and incense burning, and he was sort of sideways as if he might be strung out.
Was it the Maharishi Mahesh Yogi?
I don't know. And he said, "Do you want any incense?" And I said,
"Wow."
Can I say I love him?
I said, "No." And then he just went, and turned away and walked out of my, like, walked down the path.
Did he have an attaché case which may have contained incense?
He must have had incense if I had said yes.
It might have been a burglar checking if there's anyone in.
Oh, I hadn't even thought that he was specking the gaff.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how well his business does, though. Door-to-door incense salesman. I mean, it's worse than your eyeliner thief, Frank.
I mean, there's a bit of me that was wondering, was this free? Have I just turned down something for nothing?
Yeah. Or
did it even happen? Because a minute later I was back in the kitchen chopping vegetables again, thinking, did that just occur? It seems weird that... Yeah. Did it happen? Tell me.
It's someone. If anyone else has had this kind of peripatetic patchouli vendor,
what?
If anyone else has had a man knock on their door selling incense, I'd like to hear about it, because that is pretty amazing,
peculiar. I also think I said one of the most stupid things I've ever said at a gig recently. I did a gig last week in a festival, like quite a big music festival, lots of different stages and all that, and I was in a little comedy tent, and I'm about 12 minutes into a stand, and in those comedy tents they're next to impossible to play, aren't they, because you can hear sound bleed from the other music venues.
It's got all the excuses.
Lots of things going on, loads of distractions, people are coming in and going out because it's not ticketed, they're just coming in, you know what I mean?
Mainly they're going out, I'm guessing.
Well, give it time. About 12 minutes into my set, we hear the beginning of a band really loud from an adjacent tent, and loads of people, I'd say a good handful of people stood up to go and begin listening to this band instead of me doing my stand-up. And I said, oh, they're going to hear that, but you guys will stay. And then I went, actually, I recognise this tune. Who is that? And somebody at the front said, Bombay Bicycle Club. And I said, wow, they're great. Why are you all staying here to listen to me? And at that point, 2/3 of the audience stood up and left.
Wow.
And I thought that was the wrong thing to say.
Why did you do that?
Because
Why did you say they were good?
I wasn't thinking. They are good, but...
Oh, are they? Sorry.
Yeah, but I also...
I thought you were being ironic.
No, I think they are. I like them, but it was a foolish thing to do, because then I had to play to a tent with hardly anyone in it.
Yeah, but you know, the people who stayed, the great thing is they really wanted to be. It's like the Catholic Church. The people who stay, they really want to be there. And at the end of the day, it's quality, not quantity.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
We have a text in. This is from 708. Hi, Frank. You're forgetting that the Queen doesn't drive on public roads, only on private estates.
That's why she doesn't need...
Yeah, it's like me. So that's why she's never sat her test.
Okay.
She can quite easily summon up the chauffeur to drive her down to the local co-op if she runs out of milk or if Phil fancies a kebab.
You'd think that she'd like to pass her test, though, wouldn't you? You know, you've got nothing to do.
Yeah.
You think, oh,
She's got all those gloves to burn.
I don't think she does the actual
She's got a lot
burning.
on.
I imagine they're carried out on sticks, you know, on the ends of sticks.
Really long sticks.
Yeah, with the gloves on the
on.
end, yeah. That's what, I mean, I can't be certain.
Could look a bit like a puppet show if they get that at the right angle. I have some parking updates.
Oh, have you?
You know, we've been running a how's your parking
sorry, let me
going?
just gather by the fireside.
We've been doing quite a lot of parking related. I had a very cockerel parking moment on Saturday night. I went off to do a little stand-up gig. No, it wasn't. It was Thursday. Anyway, nevertheless, I got there a bit early.
It's a fabulous raconteur.
Oh, no.
Peter Ustinov.
Got
I
there
feel like I'm on the phone to you.
Got there a bit early. I had to pay for metered parking, and I think in a new thrifty low for me, I waited for 6 full minutes for the parking meter to turn to 7:30, so that I only had to pay for 1.5 hour.
You did not.
I did. It was £1.45 or double that, so I'm obviously going to stand
That's
about.
fair enough.
I don't.
Longest 6 minutes of my life. Honestly, it took ages. When you look at the watch and you go 7:27.
Why would you do that?
Wow, 7:27 again.
Well,
And again.
a watch kettle and all that, or a kettled
Oh, no,
watch.
but I was walking from the
Was it
car
a
back to
kettled
the
watch?
meeting.
In that you had gone into a corner and been forced there by the law.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Surely that's
the
all right,
monitor,
though.
the kettled watch. These we have loved,
These we have loved.
and some of them did fall on stony ground.
Surely that's all right. £1.45.
No, I
saved
think
for
that's
6
I think
minutes.
that's fair enough. Sometimes I think you're downright stingy, but there, in that occasion, that's just common sense.
That's not common sense. It's awful.
£1.45
It's
saved
your
in
life,
6
man.
minutes.
This is your life.
That's £14.50 an hour, Emily. That's way
Life.
more than the minimum wage.
You're wasting your life standing around.
You carry on. I'll do the background.
Standing around in a car park waiting.
No, it was on the street opposite.
Oh, whether it's on a street or not. It's still a waste of your life. You have everything to live for.
I filled the time by walking to
Filling the
car.
time. Is that your approach to life?
I'll look this in my notes.
Okay.
We finished it,
phone.
Frank, and I won.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I was focusing on my performance, but I'm sure it was good. Oh, baby.
Oh, baby.
I went to the cinema this week. Did I tell you that?
Lovely.
How was
I
that?
haven't been to the cinema since Noah.
How was the park?
I mean the movie.
He went to-
I meant the movie. Not, you know when it's raining, you think let's go to the cinema. Yeah, it was.
Frank,
it
I'm
was-
really sorry to interrupt. Can you just keep that tab open?
Sure.
Because, you were saying you nearly killed someone.
When did I say that?
You did, you admitted it, because you were so funny.
This is how
Oh,
people.
oh, that
yes,
chap that was-
Ben's dad.
Dave Rose has tweeted us to say he's laughing, for some inexplicable reason, in the barber's, whilst the barber has been brandishing the razor blade near his face.
Ooh.
It was nearly the end of him.
Oh,
There you go.
Sorry about that. Oh
well,
dear.
not really, are you?
Well, it's all mixed emotions. I'm glad it... But is the barber laughing as well? If not, why not?
There is the comics reaction in a nutshell.
Yeah.
So I went to see a documentary movie, and I noticed there's a lot of documentaries on at the moment. There's the Amy Winehouse. I went to see one about the Scientologists.
Oh, yeah.
They advertised the one with... who was that woman who fought for education in... women's education somewhere? Oh, you know, it's one of those CNN type stories.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
World news.
Oh.
I don't follow the world news.
No,
but,
I don't.
But, you know, it's just a brave young woman. That one, it seems to... I'm wondering if people have actually run out of ideas as far as making films and just thought, let's just about
Well,
true
for the
stuff.
feature films, they just have to film people now.
Yeah, so they're just doing true stuff.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
This
Did you
could be
enjoy
like a late show discussion, couldn't it?
Well,
They're
no,
just
what's
doing true stuff now.
Yeah, but just remember, when they talk about it on The Late Show in 2 years' time and pretend they discovered it, remember you heard it here first. Okay?
See, I think I speak for the nation. Where I'm wondering.
You speak for the nation? Since when?
I speak for
Have
the
you got a
nation.
licence?
When I say this, I think most of us are wondering, how was your parking there? Did you get there fine? Was it really close to the cinema?
I'll be straight with you. I got that jump straight on the 24 bus.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah. I can get down with them if I have to.
Skinner, Dean and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
We've had a text that I could bring to your attention.
Good.
844 has texted, I'm contemplating...
Was that
doing
your aristocratic laugh you did there? From 844.
844. I'm
I know that's gone a bit carry on film.
That was a review of me.
I'm contemplating doing some housework and I'm pondering whilst applying my mascara. Is it better to hoover or polish first? Oh, I see. I thought they meant...
I thought you were talking about her face.
Yeah, I think hoover and then put your makeup on, surely, because it's going to kick up dust. I don't think that's what they were asking.
No.
But there we are.
Hoover up. I never polish. Do they mean polish as in the floor?
As in...
Yeah.
This is very complicated.
I thought you hoover and then polish, because hoovering kicks up dust, doesn't it? And similarly, I would put mascara on after hoovering, were I that kind of guy, which I'm not.
Yes, I can only think now of Freddie Mercury hoovering in that film. He definitely put mascara on first.
Yeah.
There you go. Follow Mercury's.
Follow Freddie's. Yeah.
Boys, are you familiar with the work of Steve Doman?
Steve Doman.
Let me introduce you to this little fella.
Okay.
What about that RE teacher who said, I want to talk to you about a little fella named God? I loved him. He had the beard, the sandals, you'd have loved him.
That story about someone going into a shop asking for a crucifix and saying, have you got one of those with a little man on?
Oh, no. That's probably me in my Madonna years. Steve Doman lives in the Rocky Mountains in Colorado, but that's not why you'll have heard of him.
I think I might know who Steve Doman is now. Go on.
He has renovated his entire house to look like the set of, as you would call it, Star Trek, Frank.
Yeah,
Star Trek, Starship Enterprise.
Star Trek.
What do you call it?
Star Trek.
Star Trek. In the same way that you say Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars.
Yeah.
Star Wars, Star Trek. And
anyway,
of course, as Sven-Göran Eriksson used to say, the World Cup.
He spent 20,000 on this. He's got a lovely grey beard and sort of reactor-like Rapide glasses.
I like that look.
Yes. And he says he likes to hibernate and stock up on food there in the cold winter months. But it is extraordinary what he's done.
It is. I've seen it. It's brilliant.
A lot of it looks like the equipment here at Absolute Radio.
It does.
A bit Tomorrow's World.
He's gone. I think he's gone original series. I'm no Trekkie, but I think he's gone original series, hasn't he?
Yes.
No, I think that's right. Yeah.
He says he sleeps in the Klingon ambassador quarters.
Does he really?
I bet he's not spoiling
I
you
used
there.
to love those ambassadors. You know, whenever you get a sci-fi ambassador come, they always wear like a sort of a crepe paper tank top and speak quite like, you know, and we are from... They've been in rep for years.
They're always baritones.
They're always one of my parents' friends.
Yes. Oh, I do love an alien ambassador. An AA. The AA man has come.
Brilliant.
Greetings. Well, I must mega respect to this bloke.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. My first instinct was to worry about the resale value on his property, but if you think about it, the Trekkies, they're worldwide.
Yeah.
If anything, he's probably increased the possibility of him being able to shift that on when he's finished.
Well,
with it.
I used to live in a house where I had the bathroom done. I got blue and white tile, so I did blue and white stripes, and I commissioned a big tile with the West Bromwich Albion crest
You
on it.
didn't.
Yes, so the whole bathroom was blue and white striped with this enormous crest. And now when I left the house, I didn't take the tiles, I left it all behind. And I often wonder whether that guy thought, this is a nice little conversation piece, whether he just had it all ripped out.
Oh, and you never found out? You didn't you show him round yourself and say, what are you going to do with that?
I didn't show him around myself. No. Oh, no. Yes.
It just feels like there's
I had a
story.
Triffid in my bathroom.
Pardon?
A Triffid.
Triffid in your bathroom, I know.
Can I tell you, Frank, I'm a bit worried. What he's done a fancy dress shoe disaster.
Oh, I see.
Because I noticed he had the full Star Trek suit. You know, they have those onesies, don't they?
Yeah.
And he had a pair of Uggs.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Now, he's gone a bit...
They're not onesies, are they? They're
What are they?
the half-mast black trousers
Yes.
and the wolf shirt.
Oh,
is how I think
sorry,
of it.
live on your own. But it's a bit Ghost in Reeboks.
Yes, I sympathise with that. But I got to tell you that when I looked at it, there was a little bit of envy in my heart. But we'll come back to that.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
Back to the Enterprise.
Steve Dorman.
Meanwhile, over in Colorado.
Oh, yeah.
It's just amazing that the dedication to do this.
Is it about 14 years he's spent doing it?
Yeah.
I mean, our house is just like it's a tip, really. People come round our house and assume it's a homage to Rising Damp, and we've really worked on it, but we haven't. But I watched that, and I tell you what, it made me think. You know, it's lovely being in a relationship. We're all in relationships.
Yeah.
But if I was a single man, well, for a start off, I bet you I would watch. If I was single, I would say I would watch probably 20 hours of Doctor Who a week. Seriously.
Kath doesn't put a ban on you, though.
Oh, she does.
Does she?
With a mere look.
Oh, dear.
Yes, I couldn't sit and watch Doctor. You know, so to the question.
I've got an idea. Why don't you have a little TARDIS room? And in that room, you can do what you like.
I wouldn't be allowed to go in there. And then, I remember when I did live on my own, lived in a bedsit, and one night I was watching Bilko. Do you remember Sergeant Bilko?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And I was naked on the sofa, and no, there wasn't
Watching
a sofa.
Bilko?
Can I,
Yeah, naked, and I
if
was.
I could describe the producer's grimace, I'm going grimace.
Yeah, I mean, I
Nick
feel-
Grimmett. And I was eating baked beans out of a tin with my hands, watching Bilko naked.
Did you have nothing on? No pants or anything?
Nothing. And I remember thinking...
Disgusting.
So is this it? Is this it now for me? But sometimes I look back on that and there's a great sense of freedom about a complete indulgence. That's what he's got, and that's what single people have got. That complete. Okay, they've got stark loneliness, but they've got indulgence. They can do what they want to do when they want to do it.
Yeah.
No, it's overrated.
That's yeah. I'm just saying though. But you know, we sometimes might look at and think, oh no, single, but you know, it's all right. I mean, this makes more sense. This house, to me, makes more sense than, let's say, marriage.
Frank?
No, but I bet I can guarantee. What's he called?
His name is Steve Doman.
I bet you that Steve. I can.
You would not want to be Steve Doman.
No, but I can virtually guarantee that Steve Doman will love Star Trek as much on the day he dies as he loves it now. How many people can say that when they get married?
Happy
There
Christmas.
you go. That's the texting.
It's late for a texting. The last link.
Most depressing thing you've ever said.
It's a
Oh,
fact.
it's not.
It's just a
He's
fact.
wearing a Starship Enterprise suit with Uggs.
Yeah, but
No wonder he's on his own.
If you speak to people, right, especially at any sort of wellness session, and ask them what life's about, they'll say happiness, the pursuit of happiness. I would say that Steve Doman has found happiness.
He does look
Okay.
happy.
Yeah, there you go. Respect to him. What have I got? A 5-foot cardboard Dalek. a hoverbout with no Dalek on it, which is just an empty hoverbout. Which
At
is
least
their
you're not a
platform.
shampoo dodger, though.
I'm not a shampoo dodger.
No, but he just looks like he might be.
You
doesn't
brought
he?
all that.
I would swap shampoo for 20 hours of Doctor Who a week. Anyway, so thank you so much for listening, and if the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Now get out!
The Frank Skinner Show on Absolute Radio. Back Saturday morning from 8. Tune in live for the full Frank experience.
Absolute Radio.